Hi, I'm Lexi Castrita, and today I'm going to be talking about the importance of teaching sex education in Texas. The first thing is some statistics in the states. So 30 states require public schools to teach sex education, 39 states require students to receive instruction about HIV, and 22 states require that if provided, sex and/or HIV education must be medically, factually, or technically accurate. However, Texas is not any of these states. Texas does not require the teaching of sex education or the teaching of HIV. Furthermore, parental involvement. Many states define parents' rights concerning sexual education. 25 states require school districts to notify parents, 5 states require parental consent, and 36 states allow parents to opt out on behalf of their children. In Texas, parents can remove their child from the class if they object to what is being taught. However, they do not need parental permission to participate. Why is it important to teach students about sex in Texas? Reason 1, abstinence does not work. The research has shown it time and time again, abstinence-only education doesn't affect the rates at which teenagers decide to have sex. Given that the primary purpose of abstinence-only education is to do exactly that, it is clear it doesn't work. Abstinence-only education leads to the risk of unwanted pregnancies and STDs. As you can see from this visual I made, abstinence only is taught in 58.3% of schools in Texas. Abstinence plus is taught in 16.6%, and absolutely no form of sexual education is taught in 25.1% of schools. Now you might be wondering, what does all this mean? Abstinence only are programs that teach abstinence as the only morally correct option of sexual expression for teenagers. Abstinence plus does the exact same thing, but still includes information about condoms, contraceptions, and prevention of STDs. Comprehensive is programs that teach abstinence as the best method for avoiding STDs and unintended pregnancies, but also teach about condoms and contraception to reduce the risk of unintended pregnancies and infection with STDs. It also teaches interpersonal and communication skills and helps young people explore their own values, goals, and options. Furthermore, sex education doesn't increase sex. Over the past 20 years, numerous studies have consistently demonstrated that teaching comprehensive sex education in schools doesn't have the downside most people are afraid of. In other words, providing condoms in schools doesn't encourage adolescents to start having sex earlier or even more often. It just teaches them to be safer about it. Reason number 2 is teens need to know safer options. Parents and educators should want adolescents to be as healthy and happy as possible, even if these adolescents aren't managing to conform to the standards of behaviors that adults would consider ideal. They should still be given the right to make their own decisions, therefore needing proper education to make these decisions. And the last and final reason is sex is normal. Sex is a natural part of life, and it happens with or without sex education. As young people grow up, they face important decisions about relationships, sexuality, and sexual behavior. The decisions they make can impact their health and well-being for the rest of their lives. So young people have the right to lead healthy lives, and society has a responsibility to prepare youth by providing them with comprehensive sexual health education that gives them the tools they need to make healthy decisions. What are the core challenges and problems surrounding the teaching of sex education? I believe the biggest one would be the parents. Some Texan parents might not be okay with the school teaching their children about sex and would rather do it themselves since it is such a sensitive topic, or maybe would prefer to never teach them at all. So the only way to ensure parental satisfaction is to have sex education be taught comprehensively, therefore only being taught by the facts, but still including abstinence, just not as the only form of contraceptive. What might be a criticism of the teaching of sex education? Religion. I believe this would be the biggest one because in Texas, it is shown that 77% of Texans identify as Christian. Teaching anything other than abstinence can be seen as encouraging young adults to have sex prematurely, which will go against a lot of their religious views. To take this criticism into consideration, the best way to resolve the conflict is to compromise by teaching sex education comprehensively. Just as I said before, it would only be taught by the facts, but still including abstinence, just not as the only form of contraceptive. Thank you for listening. And again, this was sex education and the importance of teaching it in Texas. And I'm Lexi Castrita. Have a nice day.